everything's gonna be alright. And when we get there, I'ma see a pretty, pretty, pretty young thing. I'ma ask her to take my hand, head to the floor, we gon' dance. And when we get there, best believe we're gonna do a two-step. Ain't no drama in here, so don't stress. Step to the right, then turn to the left.
Good evening and welcome to the Stephen Knight Show. Hope you're having a wonderful Monday and hopefully it'll get a bit better for you now. Tonight we welcome a very talented 22-year-old. He's a visionary entrepreneur and an author of a new book called Desperate for Change, Maurice Smith. He's someone, his parents were 19 and 16 when they conceived him. But his family, they wrapped their arms around him, made sure that he was success, and he is success. You definitely want to hear his story. Then the Hot Topics, we're talking about everything that's going on. They had part 3 of the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion last night. We'll talk about that. Then, Kanye West, he's been doing these church services, and he had 50,000 people there at his last service. All that and a lot in Hot Topics. I want to remind you, we're all over social media, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Instagram, and of course our official website, thestephennightshow.com. You can also go on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts. Just go to stephennightshow.com. When we come back, Hot Topics, right back after this.
Now somebody's on your side of the bed track, and I didn't wanna have to take it there, but you play too much, so I guess it's in the game. EA. And what am I supposed to say? I know you did me dirty, but we can make it work. I know you didn't mean to hurt me. I know we got our problems and need to go away your worries. Let's just sit and talk about it over McGee's McFlurry. One thing's for hot damn certain. This plays a rap. You can go and close them curtains, and this is a mess. Starting with yourself first. I am dropping bad habits, starting with the very worst. Now it's on to the next one. African American, Puerto Rican, Swedish, French lover, or a German. I'm really determined. All kinds of moves. Ever since we've been done, I've had so much to do. I got to let you go.
This is Janera, and you're listening to The Stephen Knight Show.
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Miss Parker, how's it going?
Happy Monday, everyone. How are you guys doing?
Can't complain at all. Can't complain. Yeah, Chike's here. Chike?
Hey. Yes.
How was your weekend, Miss Parker?
It was good. It was good. And it was cool the first part of the weekend.
Yeah.
Saturday, went out yesterday, celebrated Easter with some friends, brunch.
Oh, yeah. I saw that, yeah.
So that was nice.
That's good. That's good. Chike, how was your weekend?
Weekend was awesome. Kicked it off with a model exhibit at one of the museums in Philadelphia, and ended it with a nice Easter celebration, and I felt cleansed in the blood.
Amen.
Came out the weekend anew.
Mm-hmm. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, I had a good weekend. I actually went to an event on Saturday. It was like a art gallery kind of thing, and really nice. There was a organization there called Ani's House, and they help with homeless. Helping with the homeless community. And I got to talk to the woman that was there representing them. So, really nice event. And then yesterday, I watched TD Jakes, and then I chilled. I didn't do anything yesterday after that. And today was just my recovery day. I slept, I cleaned, I went grocery shopping, I went to the gym, just did all that. So, but it was a good weekend. Good weekend. Happy belated Easter to everybody listening, by the way, too. All right, so
I have to put things in perspective about today being a chill day. We're off today. We're supposed to be off on Friday. Got busy at work.
Yeah.
Decided to take Monday, or change to Monday instead. So we had a day off today, which was great.
Right. Yeah.
It was to kind of relax and get things done.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, our question of the day is: what was your favorite subject in school, Ms. Parker?
I know I said recess and PE.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I really did enjoy recess and PE. I've always been a person who enjoyed having fun.
Yeah.
But obviously a serious subject. I really always loved history.
Me too.
Even though the history that we learned wasn't of our own.
Right.
But I think it encouraged me to find out more about things that were important to me. Research. I think that's where I've always been a curious person. I was wondering about how people live. And I'm such a documentary junkie. So I'm always curious about how people live and why, and all of those things, and what makes people who they are. And so I've always been into history. So I think history was the class that I enjoyed.
Yeah, yeah. What about you, Chike?
I have to say music theory and history.
Nice.
Definitely.
Nice. Mine was always math until I got to like middle school. Then I hated math, but I did love history too because I've always been a history buff. And I remember like when we were coming up, my parents, like when we had Sunday dinners, because they went to college together. That's where they met, and they would talk about back in the day, whatever. And I used to wish so much I could live back then, and just experience those things they had. But then I thought about no technology. And I'm like, I don't know. But I remember my mom, she used to always push me to take an auto mechanics class. And I didn't want to take an auto mechanics class. I always see those people, when they're changing oil, the oil fall on them and all that. So I ain't trying to do all that. So every time, until she passed, every time there was something wrong with my car, I told you should have taken that auto mechanics class. That was always her thing. But yeah.
She said she wouldn't have to worry about
it. Right. She, I was going to tell you. She said, I told you to take that. I mean, when I tell you, she would tell me that for years. That was her thing. But,
yeah, her thing.
Well, tweet us at Stephen Knight Show SHO and let us know what was your favorite subject in school. All right, so hot topic. So Kanye West, I don't know if you know, he's been putting on these church services for the last few weeks or so. Well, apparently Coachella picked up part of that as their Sunday event yesterday. And they said over 50,000 people came to his church service. Started at 9 o'clock in the morning. So can you imagine being up all night, getting lit, and then going to church for Kanye West's church? But the Kardashians were there, Chance the Rapper, Danny Glover, Lizzo, Kid Cudi, DMX, and more. Also, he performed gospel songs, Jesus Walks, and he also debuted a new song called Water, and played classics. Now, the Coachella holds about 100,000 people. So the fact that half of the people who came to this event, there was a huge success for Coachella and for Kanye, and they said that there was nothing but rave reviews, very positive experience for people who went. But there was some controversy because the Clark sisters, apparently they played some of the Clark sisters' music, and they came out and said he did not get, he didn't get permission to play or clearance to play their songs. But that was the only really controversy. There was also, Kanye was seen hugging Marcus Hyde, who was his family's former photographer, who nearly lost his life in a horrible accident last year, as well as his mom. But yeah, it was a good event. What are your thoughts on Coachella? And let me ask you another question, because there were some housewives, I think, of Beverly Hills, and they're like in their 50s, and they went to Coachella last weekend, and people said they were too old to be there. What are your thoughts on that, Ms. Parker?
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, when I turn 50 and I can make it to Coachella, I'm going.
Right.
So, I don't know what they're talking about. It's never too old to have a good time.
Yep.
But, I'm not a religious person, and I have my opinions about Kanye.
Right.
As of lately, I was a huge fan of his first album. I think he is a very smart person, but I think he's gravely ill. So I think he's challenged his mental health with things that he loves, and I really like seeing that. I think this Sunday service thing has been emotionally and mentally helpful for him.
Mm-hmm.
And so, however people can find peace, I'm for it. I'm not religious, but whatever healthy avenue someone can challenge the energy into and find peace and be in the right state of mind and able to deal with their trauma, whatever avenue that's healthy for them, I'm definitely for it.
Yeah.
My cousin is a musician in LA, and she went to his Sunday thing last weekend.
Okay. Yeah.
She does background for a lot of the major artists, and she went last weekend. She's not a religious person, but she said it was very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that I don't see anything wrong with that. I think anything that's positive and bringing people joy, I'm down for.
Yeah.
I'm always a bit critical of the religious environment because, for example, the Clark sisters. This should be in no form of fashion speaking badly about what he's doing, even if he's using their music, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it's not coming from a place of he's using our music. It's coming from a place of he's using our music and he's not really religious. It's not being used in the most religious way. It's the article that I read.
Okay.
I just think that religious people they do completely opposite of what their teaching says, right? And it's a saying it's a quote that says, "I love your God, but I don't love your religion," or something like that. Or, "I don't love your people." Whoever's practicing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that people don't want to have a belief in a higher power. When you see people like the Clark sisters, people who are very religious, to me that's just mean spirited, right? Because I'm like, if I was a religious person and I had some religious artwork or articles or music, anything that was inspiring, and somebody who I knew had been suffering and was somehow at some point in a lot of pain, but was using my information as a way of uplifting himself and others, I would be celebrating that.
Yeah.
To me, that's a godly thing to do. Like, I just, I struggle with that. I think there's a lot of miscommunication in between how what is said to be and being more like God and people who are supposed to be practicing that and how they truly do act. I read an article and I found it very disturbing because this man has been through a lot of emotional stuff in front of us, mental breakdown.
Yeah. If
he's doing something positive with your music, reach out to him behind the scenes and say, "Hey, I love what you're doing, but I would prefer you ask for permission to use that." But that's not something that you blast. You know what I mean?
I agree with that.
It's just not of the higher will as they want us to see them or view them as. It's disappointing to me, very much so.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Chike, what are your thoughts?
I'm a little confused. What are we talking about? Are we talking about the older people going to Coachella, or
a little bit of everything?
Yeah, that's the first part. Do you think that there's an age limit? There should be an age limit to Coachella or events like that?
So, like you, thinking about history, and you wanted to go back in time and be a part of something else. I wanted to be a part of Woodstock because I thought that Woodstock was. Especially during that time, the civil rights movement.
Yep.
Yeah, it was groundbreaking, and everyone just put their differences aside to go out there and just appreciate art and appreciate the music and just be with themselves. And it was like they were camped out. They were just there.
Yeah.
They were just out there.
Yep.
And Coachella is somewhat like that, but not like that. I mean, of course, they're making a profit off of Coachella, and Coachella has made the reputation of being about being under the influence as well. So there are a lot of people that are using and partaking of drugs out there as well. I would argue that it's about a vibe. And if it's about a vibe and it's about a feeling, how can you put an age on that?
Mm-hmm.
If someone out there is 80 and they're feeling the music and they're feeling the vibe, why discriminate against that?
Yep.
It's something about these millennials, man. They age discriminate a lot. That's not cool, y'all. Not cool at all.
Right. What are your thoughts on Kanye West and the Clark sisters?
I'm in agreement with Ms. Parker.
Yeah.
It should have been, a separate situation. But now that the cat is out of the bag, maybe he should invite them and they should be out there with him.
Yeah. Well, it was interesting because I saw a documentary, I think it was either on BET or TV One. I saw it on YouTube, and they were interviewing Jay Holiday. It was like featuring him, his story, rising, whatever. And so Kanye West had a fashion show. And in the fashion show, they played one of Jay Holiday's songs. It might have been Bed, but it was someone else singing it. And a lot of people thought it was wrong that they didn't use his original version. They used someone else singing it. And so I see him having an event where he is uplifting people and he's using the original artist. You know what I mean? I think, as Ms. Parker said, I think it should have been a private conversation behind the scenes, not something that they publicly, expressed, because it was something that he was doing for a greater good. It wasn't about him being it for himself. So,
well, let me play devil's advocate for just one hot second.
Okay.
So with the music industry changing the way that it is, it's a little harder for artists to make their money off of their material.
Especially gospel artists.
Yes. And I understand the squeeze. I understand being very autocratic when it comes to, how you get paid, from your art. And I understand, like, pinching down and wanting to have that notoriety for their art being used because of the way the industry is now. And I'm sure they're probably looking at Kanye because he is a man of influence and a man with means, and he does have money. Why can't he pay to use it? I mean, he's a DJ who samples music. Yeah. That's what he does. That's what he did before he rapped.
Right.
Okay, why not pay for it? But I mean, not put him on blast, but I mean, I understand where they're coming from.
No, I get it too.
I get it too. Within that same thought, there are people there, probably thousands of people who've never heard of the Clark sisters. If you're in a black community and you're religious, you probably know who they are.
Right.
Outside that, no one knows who they are. So he just gave them exposure to people who they would never had it to. So I think it's a give and take. You know what I mean? Like, his audience would have never pulled up their music. So now that they're exposed to people that could possibly buy their stuff and just earn money from. So I just think that it could have been a competition that they still had, but hey, just pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Talk to people and say, hey, but I appreciate the exposure, but we would like to work out something where we
moving forward.
Yeah. With you, or you give us a royalty, however it's worked out.
Yeah.
But I just didn't go just blasting them about it. But the article didn't say it was just that, though. It talked about how they thought that his show and how he was dressed was not of their music.
Yeah, because he was wearing his clothes.
Portray himself as God or Jesus.
What happened to come as you are?
Exactly. Well, and again, like, I think it's both issues are valid. I was just listening to an interview with T.D. Jakes, and he was saying how they were discussing how gospel artists, how they struggle financially because once they put out a song, churches all over the world pick it up, and so they don't have to. Audience members don't have to buy the actual single because they can hear it at their own church. So it's hard for them to get their money. But also, again, if you're doing something for the greater good, if the work you're doing is to promote God and promote positivity and that kind of thing, I think there still should have been a conversation, but I think it should have been behind the scenes. I don't think it should have been like put on blast. I think that's what we're all trying to say pretty much. But anyway, let's change subjects real quick. So last night was the ending of season 11 of Real Housewives of Atlanta. It was the third part 3 of their reunion. And so the biggest controversy everyone was talking about is between Nene and Cynthia. So I'll set the story up real quick. So apparently Cynthia was having a party. We talked about this a few weeks ago on the show when it actually aired. But she had through an event because she was she's the face of a new flavor of Seagram's alcohol. And so she was having a launch party for it. And she initially invited Kenya and she invited Nene. Now, Kenya and Nene don't get along, apparently. But Cynthia's standpoint is Kenya said no, she couldn't come. She's pregnant. She was 9 months pregnant. She couldn't come. And so Cynthia thought it was best not to even bring it up to Nene since she wasn't coming. I won't have to worry about dealing with that. Well, Candy thought it was important for Kenya to come because since Kenya's no longer on the show, she's gotten married, she's pregnant, and she says that her fans would probably want to see her happy and all that. And so Candy said that Kenya said, I might come. And so Candy said as her and Tyber, approaching the event, Kenya calls and says, hey, I'm here. Can you wait for me? So Candy, they waited and they all came in together. And so, of course, Nene, when she saw Kenya, she felt some kind of way. And she felt some kind of way at Cynthia for not telling her that Kenya was coming. Cynthia's whole thing was, I didn't know she was coming. But there was her mic was hot, Cynthia, when they were shooting. And she was heard telling Mike, her boyfriend, pretty much play dumb that Kenya's here. So it made it seem like that she didn't know she was coming, but she didn't. And so, and then there was also her hot mic. She was talking to Candy, saying, hey, we're on the same page, that I didn't know she was coming. And so Cynthia, went on to, she tried to explain herself. She said, I know it looks shady. I think some of it was editing, but I did not know she was coming. And so, of course, Nene wasn't trying to hear nothing she was saying. And so Cynthia's big thing was even if this did happen the way it showed on TV, we're going to fall out of our years of friendship over one thing. I've been a close friend to you. I've been supportive. I've been whatever. And apparently, Cynthia said there was a scene after that event where her and Nene hugged it out, and they've hung out several times since then. But since it aired on TV, now Nene has nothing for Cynthia. So they did a poll on Watch What Happens, and it was, it was 84% said that they were on Cynthia's side, 16% they were on Nene's side. Cynthia saying this is childish, this is high school stuff. Who cares if I invite who to what party? What are your thoughts, Ms. Parker? Ms. Parker?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to try to answer the question because I know it's part of our segment and it's important that we cover the entertainment stuff. I'm really just bored with this because it's women in their late 40s and 50s.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the show can be a good mindless entertainment. If you just want to just have something on and keep up with something.
Right.
But I think at some level it's toxic too.
Mm-hmm.
Because imagine a young woman sitting at home and she's in her 20s watching this. That's not how you handle a friendship. I almost feel like they create drama to stay on the show. And I'm pretty sure they probably do at some level. But I think it's ridiculous. And so I recently read something on Facebook where Cynthia said that her relationship with Nene has been a toxic friendship. She's finally realized that and she's going to move on. And I think that's exactly what should happen. I think the example in this should be, the takeaway should be, if you have a friendship like Nene's and Cynthia, at some point, the person who is receiving the abusive ways or abusive behavior from the other person will somehow wake up one day and realize that friendship is not either a two-way friendship or it's not meant to be at this time. And I tell my friends this all the time. I have this conversation quite often because I do distance myself from certain friends at certain times when I don't fit their life, they don't fit mine.
Right.
No hard feelings. We're in different spaces. Our energy is not clicking. And a lot of times at some point in our lives, we end up clicking back. All my friendships have been over 10 years. But I haven't been friends with everyone for the whole 10 years straight because there's been points where
step back.
My energy wasn't good for them or their energy wasn't good for me. And I step back. And I'm very aware of that. And there's no hard feeling. There's no judgment. I'm not hurt by it. I literally just, realize, okay, we're in different spaces, and I need to give this person space. and it always does end up coming back together. So I think, I'm not sure if that would be the case with them, but I think removing yourself from friendships that are toxic is just as important as removing yourself from relationships that are toxic.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I think Cynthia is doing the right thing by just moving on, regardless. Now, and at this point, I don't think she cares about somehow, saving the friendship with Nene, because she's always been the one that's been concerned about, keeping their friendship going. I'm glad that she's finally in the space where that's not as important to her than her own mental health.
Yeah. Chike?
So, if you are truly friends, there shouldn't be anything that you guys couldn't communicate your way through. And I believe in this particular situation, it's more about a narrative, something to talk about, a subject matter to harp on. It's good for optics. It's good for the ratings. It's good for, something on Twitter, something on Instagram. It's good for the fodder. It's good TV. Other than that, in real life, I don't see mature people acting this way.
Right.
If someone invited someone that you don't get along with to their function in their house, either you gear yourself up and you leave the premises and revisit it a little later, or you act mature while you're there and then say something to your friend, in private. I don't think that was cool what you did. That we have an estranged relationship. I don't get along with this person. Why would you put me in the same space with? I don't think that was cool.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
The person said that they didn't know. Okay, I have to take that at face value. Hopefully you're not lying to me. And move on.
Yeah.
There's no need to get on social media and make a big thing about it. This is what makes it part of the narrative. Like, now it's for ratings.
Yeah. I think it's ridiculous. I mean, and again, Cynthia, she even made the point. She said, I could see if I invited Kenya to my house at a small venue. This was 200 people. You know what I mean? It was a launch party. You know what I mean? You could have been on that side of the room. She could have been on that side. It wasn't that big of a deal. I'm the kind of person, I can pretty much go anywhere. If there's somebody I don't really care for, I don't see them. You know what I mean? I don't have to. It's petty. But I do some of it's for ratings. But I do think Cynthia is hurt by this relationship. But I agree with Ms. Parker that she's doing the right thing, because over the years, when they, Nene and her have had this back and forth, and like Cynthia told Nene, her friends are disposable. She treats them like they're disposable. The minute she ain't got nothing for them, they're dead to her. And it's crazy.
I don't know Miss Leaks at all. I don't know her, but what I've seen of her on just on these platforms, I think she's an emotional bully. She is an emotional bully.
And she's unhappy. She's extremely unhappy, because even watching the reunions, it's like she has no emotion. You know what I mean? Like, Portia was, pretty much saying, because Nene said none of them are her friends, and Portia said, that hurts, because you're trying to tell me everything that we've shared, it means nothing. And Nene just looked at her like, whatever. You know what I mean? And I don't know. But yeah, people like that, I never thought she was a happy person, but yeah, it's crazy. Even they had a guest on there. She's a super fan. She's also a feminist, but she's a super fan of the Real Housewives franchise. And she said Nene just seems so heartless, like she's really going through something right now. So, God bless her. All right, check this out. So, remember Robin Crawford? Robin Crawford was the best friend of Whitney Houston. They met when they were teenagers. Robin was 19, Whitney was 17. And some have accused them of having a romantic affair throughout the years, even when she was with Bobby. Whitney denied it. Robin has never spoken out publicly about their relationship. Whitney died in 2012. But Bobby has said that he thought they were in a romantic relationship. And other members of the family had said stuff as well. Well, Robin is now coming out with her tell-all book. It's a memoir called A Song for You. And it says that since Whitney's death in 2012, the trusted and loyal friend Robin Crawford has stayed out of the limelight and held the great joys, wild adventures, and hard truths of her life with Whitney Houston close to her heart. In A Song for You, Robin breaks her silence to share the moving and often complicated story of her life and friendship and relationship with Whitney. With warmth and candor and an expressive recall of detail, Robin gives readers insight into Whitney's life and career. She traces the years from when she and Whitney first met as teenagers, in 1980, to the recording of Whitney's first album, the infinite success that followed, from countless sold-out world tours to her epic rendition of the national anthem, and on set of The Bodyguard, her tumultuous marriage, and the birth of her only child. Robin was there, and so she's going to tell her story to set the record straight on all the rumors that have been said over the years. The book's supposed to come out November of this year. One, do you think that she should come out with this book? And what would something you'd be interested in finding out in the memoir, Ms. Parker?
So, I've always held Robin in high regard as far as her friendship or relationship with Whitney.
Yeah.
I do think they had a romantic relationship because just from the documentary from her family, you can tell that because they were so-called religious, they hated that side of Whitney. And I actually think because she couldn't be herself, a lot of her trauma stemmed from that. That's just my personal opinion from seeing the documentaries and things that were done in her life.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that Robin has suffered a lot of misleading information been said about her, and a lot of painful things have been said about her. I remember when I watched the last documentary that you recommended. What was it called?
Oh, Whitney.
And I said I was very sad.
Yeah. It was very sad.
I did not believe some of the things they said about her. I was like, they didn't think about cutting that out.
Right.
I just thought it was just so inappropriate and so rude and mean and stuff they said, like her brothers and them about Robin. I just thought to myself, well, they were editing that, but I know the documentary was meant to be very raw, very honest, and like supposed to be one of the most, I guess, accurate.
Accurate, yeah.
Yeah. And so I understood that part, but I felt like, wow, if that was me, I would be hurt. All the things they're saying. I've heard those things before, but I think I've never heard it so bluntly said. I think Robin is a person who's going to handle her story about Whitney with care.
Yeah.
I don't think she's the person who's going to be releasing a book that's going to paint Whitney anything but probably the love of her life or whatever. But I think it's going to be a positive light in her eyes. I don't think she's trying to slander Whitney's name. I don't think she's trying to do anything like that. I think she's trying to tell her story because at some point, Stephen, if you're not willing to tell your story, somebody's going to tell it for you.
That's
it's
true.
not going to be what you want.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think she needs to. I I support that because I don't see her character now so far from what she has displayed. I don't know her.
Right.
I can tell people's character from what they display. So far from what she has displayed, I don't see her being a person that's going to bring anything negative to Whitney. I think she's been very protective of the Whitney Houston and the Nippy that she knew and loved.
I agree with that. Chica?
Yeah, I agree with Ms. Parker. I mean, there was actually a point in time where Robin stepped out of the picture to allow Whitney to just be. Or when she made the decision to marry Bobby and to be with Bobby, Robin stepped out of the way to allow for that to happen. I'm curious. I would like to hear. I would like to, understand a little bit better because I think the with all of the facets of stories, you get the truth.
Yeah.
When it's all combined.
Yeah. I think I remember when Whitney first passed away, Robin did an open letter just, speaking very highly of Whitney and how she'd never forget her and that she said, I've never spoken publicly about our relationship and I never will. But since then, there's been so much that's been said about her and Whitney. And I can only imagine, regardless of what their relationship was, if you knew someone that long and you were that close, you want the truth to be out there, I would assume.
Right.
And so I can see why she wants to tell her story. And like you said, Ms. Parker, they did say some nasty things about her. You can tell her brother, especially Gary, can't stand Robin. And it's crazy because they all grew up together, through this career. And there are videos of them laughing and joking together. But yeah. But yeah, she did leave because Whitney gave her an ultimatum. No, she gave Whitney an ultimatum. This was like in 2002-3. She gave her ultimatum, either Bobby or me, and she picked Bobby. Anyway, again, it comes out November of this year. All right, let's take a quick break. We have a couple more hot topics right back after this.
your girl, that ghetto love. That ghetto love. In the ghetto. In the ghetto. In the ghetto. In the ghetto. Take me away from the cares of this world. No worries, no problems, because I'm your girl. That ghetto love. Ghetto love, ghetto love. Take me away from the cares of this world. No worries, no problems, because I'm your girl. That ghetto love. Ghetto love, ghetto love. Ghetto love. In the ghetto. 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 In the ghetto.
Music machine, lyrics.
This that thing right here, K.
Yeah, boy.
Word. Look,
Do you think?
look. The product of housing tenements. Try blending with the innocent. It's to the moon like we chasing stars. Drinks in the air, we about to raise the bar. High Valerian can speak it, then can't eat with us. Dwayne Martin, these niggas is just some seat fillers. Teach, level up there, see the growth. Cryptocurrency, bitcoins to who need the most. Look, was quick to want squeeze the toast. These days, got my bread till I see a loaf. Greedy, couple plates, we gon' eat the most. Point game, if we trail, at least we keep it close. Sipping toast, sipping in moderation. It was written in a proclamation. My obligation to the fairest the will. Give food for thought till they cherish the meal. Swerve it and pill. Chicks, notice the squad. I ain't talking foreign exchange when I study abroad. Know the facade. Got us lunching up an Olive Garden. Talking about portfolios and profit margins. We done finally reached the pinnacle. Without compromising the principles. Life good, overseas, different interviews. Back then, used to do it for the minimal. We done finally reached the pinnacle. Without compromising the principles. Life good, overseas, different interviews. Back then, used to do it for the minimal. Deep slumber, sleep till we see numbers. In a vision, seen it like Steve Wonder. Each summer hit a monetary apex. Lifestyle's much more than having safe sex. Strategic talks, dudes who don't pay chess. That's starving, only getting a taste test. Hood the thesaurus, finish wines imported. Learn the game from ballers that stay scoreless. Rap we paint portraits. Spitting riddles like we socially awkward. Pyrex jaws to the corporate office. Catapulted movements was flawless. We about to take a sabbatical. Got the brand, the crown's just collateral. We patrolling different avenues. Life's a bitch, used to wanna marry you. Look, it's kinda hard to think practical. Figure simple to new rational. Lack of aptitude, now me down the Georgia Shore. Authoritative, if you spill it, then it's word be law. Coded language, shit you never heard before. Verbal onslaught, like, what do you wanna hurt me for? Dig, I'm a lyrical enthusiast. Mumble rap, me these niggas with a crucifix. We used to listen with exuberance. Think they bars coming from a lack of tutelage. Throwing jabs like a pugilist. Not the best, I suggest you go review your list. We done finally reached the pinnacle. Without compromising the principles. Life good, overseas, different interviews. Back then, used to do it for the minimal. We done finally reached the pinnacle. Without compromising the principles. Life good, overseas, different interviews. Back then, used to do it for the minimal.
We finally We're finally here. Oh yeah.
Hello, beautiful people. It's your girl, Monisa, and you're listening to The Stephen Knight Show.
Welcome back to The Stephen Knight Show. I want to remind you, we're all over social media, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Instagram, and, of course, our official website, thestephennightshow.com. You can buy your T-shirts, learn more about our team, and just find out things that we're doing. All right, so some positive news like that. T.I. and Scrap De Leon helped raise money. They partnered with New Birth Missionary Baptist Church. And I have to say, I can't think of his name, the pastor. They are now, because it was Eddie Long. He passed away. They have a new pastor from Baltimore. His ex-wife is on Housewives of Potomac. I'll get his name. But anyway, he's doing some major things in the community here in Atlanta. But anyway, so their church partnered with T.I. and Scrap De Leon, and they pretty much, first offenders, first-time offenders, they bailed them out of jail over the weekend. And so initially it was a gesture that started $40,000 local challenge within the New Birth congregation, but quickly grew into $120,000 regional movement. Now, eventually, T.I. and Scrap De Leon from Hip Hop's Love and Hip Hop, they partnered with the local church, helping them exceed their goal. Reportedly, the bailout program will continue to assist the development of and reform of the beneficiaries, which each scheduled to attend a meeting every week. Some of the money raised also has been put aside to help the children go to college. Now, T.I., as we all know, he was jailed twice here in Atlanta, once federal weapons charge, and also was for violating probation. Scrap De Leon was recently released out of jail after 2 years of alleged trafficking marijuana. Anyway, I hate that I had to add that part. But what are your thoughts on this, Ms. Parker?
What part?
I'm sorry, just the fact that they came together. That they came together with the community and helped these people get out of jail, first offenders.
I think there is a documentary about how a lot of the issues with the incarceration rate of black males in prison is because they can't afford very small amount of bail.
Mm-hmm.
So someone who is in poverty, for them $500 is like $5,000, right?
Yeah.
And so I do think that there's an issue there. So I think that non-violent offenders being bailed out, I think it's a good thing, giving these young men a chance to get out of prison, because what prison does while you're sitting there waiting, it damages you. So you coming out, even if you were non-violent then, you may come out so damaged you be a violent offender your next crime.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's a lot of issues there as far as prison reforms and how bail is handled. So I think that's a great thing. I think they need to be mindful, because there is a nonprofit organization, a separate organization that's been doing this for about 5 years now, and they do non-violent offenders and some, depending on what kind of crime, violent offenders. And recently, one of those people that they not the Jamar Bryan and T.I., but the other organization that's been doing it for a few years, they recently bailed out a guy who ended up going and killed his ex-wife the moment he got out.
Mm.
So I think that there should be some discretion, but I think overall it's a good thing, because I know that there's a lot of reform that needs to be done as far as how bail is handled, who is giving bail, who's not giving bail, how much bail is awarded to or penalized on certain crime and criminals. There is a disconnect and an injustice on how that's handled, and I know that there's a big thing with the reform community and the reform activists that they're trying to change. So I think that's a good thing within that space.
Yeah. Chica?
I'm all for saving our black men. Kudos to them for putting forth an effort in that. But I would like to see more on the reform part of it. I would like to see more education behind it. Let's look into why these first offenders offended in the first place, and try to stop them from or stop people from offending in the first place, and more so they won't reoffend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The pastor is Jamal Bryant again. Ms. Parker said that, but he's a new pastor at New Birth Missionary Baptist Church, and he is doing amazing things. I remember when they had the government shutdown, they paid the bills for the federal employees who weren't working. He's done a lot of things. They also have a prayer line I just found out about on Tuesdays at 7:30. I called into it last week. So he's doing a lot of great things here. But I think that anything that is contributing to the recidivism rate of first-time offenders and reform, I think it's important. And they mentioned that they have the weekly meetings that the beneficiaries have to attend, but I hope it's a little even deeper than that, because again, we want to keep this from continuing. So, but kudos to anyone that's trying to make a change in the community. All right, last story. So your boy George Zimmerman, he was the murderer in many cases that was acquitted for shooting Trayvon Martin on the grounds of self-defense. But he said many run-ins with the law since, including a 2015 arrest after he was accused of throwing a wine bottle at his girlfriend. Well, he was booted off of Tinder, the dating app Tinder, for creating a fake profile. So according to ABC News, George Zimmerman can be added to another place where he's not welcome, and that's Tinder. An email statement from Tinder cited user safety as a reason why he was removed from his profile from the dating app platform, because he used the fake name. It said, at Tinder, we take our users' safety very seriously, and our team has removed this profile from our platform. We utilize network of industry-leading automated and manual moderation and reward tools, systems, and processes, and spend millions of dollars annually to prevent and monitor and remove bad actors who have violated community guidelines in terms of use on their app. Now, Zimmerman was also previously banned from Bumble, another dating app. What are your thoughts?
I mean, who would want to date him?
Right. That's the truth.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there are people out there who are just as crazy as he is. Because he actually auctioned his gun and sold that gun, the pistol that he killed Trayvon Martin with, and got a lot of money for it. So there are sick people out there. But I do think that that Tinder and Bumble are being mindful because actually at this point in time with his rap sheet, he is actually a danger. That's like having a person, because they wouldn't have someone who's been in the public eye with a whole bunch of crimes if they were black on there.
Right.
They wouldn't.
Yeah.
And so with his background and a lot of his the reason he's been back and forth to jail
has been violent.
Domestic issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, domestic issues. So no, I think that's a good thing. I think that they're aware that this could be an issue for not just one woman but multiple women, because that's what dating apps is for, right? You're dating multiple women, and you have access to. So I think it's smart on their end.
Do you think that they should with dating apps, because there have been a rise in assault in dating apps? Do you think they should do background checks?
Yeah. I think they should.
Yeah.
I think they should. That's why I'm always worried about the free app thing. But I think there will always be that form of dating now.
Oh, yeah.
That's what people are used to. I think having access is what this generation, or right now, the time and days that we're in. So I don't think it will ever be proof free. Proof. Proof. What is it? Proof read or proof, whatever.
Right.
But I think that maybe the pay ones, because people are paying like $40 a month. I think they should use a portion of that money to do a background check.
Okay, Chicken, what are your thoughts?
I think that users should beware. I don't think that I agree with Mr. Parker. The ones that you pay, they should do background checks with the money that you pay into. But the free ones, you should beware. You get what you pay for. You don't put anything into it, you might wind up with trash, like Zimmerman. So basically, he's just running around catfishing people.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that if he said that who he really was, he probably would get threats himself, and that's probably what he's trying to avoid. Maybe he just shouldn't do it at all.
Right.
Just be by yourself, because that's what the design is. You did that to yourself.
Pretty much. And continue. And my thing, it's like, and not to compare him and O.J. Simpson in any way, but the fact that you get in trouble, you get off, and then you continue to do things. You know what I mean? It just shows what kind of person you really are to me. Anyway, yeah. Well, Ms. Parker, as always, I thank you for your contribution to Hot Topics. Hope you have a wonderful week. And Chike, I'll see your movie reviews.
Thank you, too.
See you, Ms. Parker.
All right. Right back after this.
Bye.
Do I swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Let me take a minute. What is my reason for cheating? Let's start from beginning. Let me take a minute. It's clear I made the wrong move. It went down in the DM like the song do. I didn't mean it to happen. She just wanted that action. Body stop moving, I'm folding. Try to talk myself out of it, I'm going. She got the rubbing, I start the boju. But then I probably lose it all focus. Hold up, damn, you don't wanna hear me. I can tell the truth, but to you it's all theory. Tell me, you can stay here, I'ma leave it. And I'ma take it back to the block, I don't need you. She like, rewind, rewind. Let me take a minute. Rewind, rewind. She said she take a minute. Rewind, rewind. Let me take a minute. She said she wanted the middle and then no. Do I swear to tell her whole truth and nothing but the truth? Let me take a minute. She was just feeling my vibe when I looked in her eye. Let me take a minute. Take a minute. Let me 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 take a minute. I place the blame cause I'm popping, I'm rocking. Hold up, losing that option. I really started from the bottom, honest. See, I'm just speaking on the topic. Easy, shawty, I don't really want you leaving. Truth is, she was on the troll and I was feeding. And at your weakest moment, wasn't there for the healing. Been a broken man, how I'm supposed to pick the pieces up? Maybe you was right, I ain't really good enough. Suitcase I'm packing, she get no reaction. She thinking I'm capping the body like that. She like, rewind, rewind. Let me take a minute. Rewind, rewind. Let me take a minute. Rewind, rewind. Let me take a minute. She said she wanted the middle and then no. Do I swear to tell her whole truth? Nothing but the truth, let me take a minute. She was just feeling my vibe when I looked in her eye. Let me take a minute. 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 Oh, she said she want the. She said she want. Let me take a minute. She said she want the. She said she want. Let me take a minute. She said she want the big shit. She said she want the big shit. Cause ain't nothing like making hot cakes and eggs. Oh, we gon' get it in, get it in. Give you my love. We gon' turn this bedroom to a kitchen. Let's get us there. Oh, you can't get away, get away. Give you my bed. Stop playing, girl, give me them cakes. Rolling, girl, between the sheets we rolling. Nothing but love in the moment. I got to have breakfast and get squeezing and teasing. If you put it in my face, I'm eating. Nothing but love in the moment. I got to have breakfast. Some call me loco, but I need it all so bad. When you give it early in the morning, got me twitching. Eyes roll back when I'm staring at the ceiling. Girl, you and I, how many licks just to get to your center? When I beat that batter, girl, I'ma fry them cakes with a cast iron skillet. You wake up, oh, we gon' get it in, get it in. Give you my love. We gon' turn this bedroom to a kitchen. Let's get us there. Oh, you can't get away, get away. Get my bed. Stop playing, girl, give me them cakes. Rolling, girl, between the sheets we rolling. Nothing but love in the moment. I got to have breakfast and bed. Squeezing and teasing. If you put it in my face, I'm eating. Nothing but love in the moment. I got to have breakfast and bed. Baby, I could go hard like this all day. It feels so good when we shake and bake. When you curl your toes and you grab my hand, this is the sound when we baking, man. Wake up, oh, we gon' get it in, get it in. Give you my love. We gon' turn this bedroom into a kitchen. Let's get us there. Oh, you can't get away, get away. Get my bed. Stop playing, girl, give me them cakes. Rolling, girl, between the sheets we rolling. Nothing but love in the moment. I got to have breakfast and bed. Squeezing and teasing. If you put it in my face, I'm eating. Nothing but love in the moment. I got to have breakfast and bed. Rolling and rolling, girl, between the sheets we rolling. Nothing but love in the moment. I got to have breakfast and bed. Squeezing and teasing. If you put it in my face, I'm eating. Nothing but love in the moment. I got to have breakfast in bed.
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Maurice Smith is a 22-year-old visionary, author, motivator, and entrepreneur born and raised in Maryland, whose desire is to help people come into the fullness of who God created them to be. His book, Desperate for Change, is comprised of lessons learned while attending college and strategies to help students change bad habits into winning decisions. He hopes the lives of the young men are truly transformed to live purpose-filled life and in turn will lead others to do the same. Please help me welcome Maurice Smith. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Mr. McKnight. Mr. Knight, I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem at all. I definitely appreciate it. I'm fascinated by your story. So tell us about, you're 22 years old, but yet you have this passion to help motivate and influence others. Tell us about how you got your start, kind of coming up into what drove that passion for you.
For sure, most definitely. So to give you a little background on myself, I was born in Annapolis, Maryland.
Okay.
I was raised in Crofton, which is probably about 15 minutes, which is from the capital of Annapolis.
Mm-hmm.
And I grew up in a household full of all women. My mom, she was 15 when I was in her stomach, and 16 when she was born, and my dad was 19.
Wow.
So I wasn't necessarily born into the typical situation,
right?
Family lifestyle that people are usually brought into. So right there, I was kind of set up with obstacles placed in my lives from being born into a situation, and also not really having my father every day. I did see my father on the weekends, and he has been in my life all my life. So I'm very blessed and thankful, for him doing that. But I grew up in a household mostly of all women, would go on the weekends with my father. And I didn't really know that wasn't, normal.
Right.
So I kind of, just lived life, and I didn't really question it until I started getting older. And then I started, wondering why I had to leave and, go back and forth, visit my mom, visit my father, and then come back and go on the weekdays with my mom and my grandmother. So long story short, I ended up just, continuing to grow, and I'm blessed to have the family that I have. And they raised me very well. They did a great job raising me. I did, I had a little bit of trouble that I experienced, as a kid growing up, just getting into kid things, and but I'm thankful for my parents, both of them, and the women in my family who helped to raise me, and also my grandfather, who actually had a big impact on me as a person, and also with my relationship with Jesus Christ.
Most definitely.
My grandfather, he's a very spiritual and godly man, but he brought the word of God into my life at a young, early age, and he also, was involved in my life, and, always had fun with me, made sure that he raised me up, and taught me in his ways, because he was a great man. So I ended up, gravitating more towards my grandfather, especially as I gotten older and, starting to become a man myself. So I would ask him a lot of questions about the Bible. I would still be in school, still living that lifestyle. I wasn't necessarily sold out for Jesus, but I was more so interested.
Okay.
So on that path to, becoming a man, I gratefully ended up at Virginia Tech. I only applied to about 3 colleges, and I don't know how I ended up only applying to 3 colleges, but it just happened.
Yeah.
So, and of the 3, I can't remember the other 2, but Virginia Tech was the one where I received my acceptance letter. And I wasn't so thrilled about going, especially when I got on the visit, but I realized that it was all a part of God's plan, because fast forward now, I am where I am now, and my cousin, he ended up coming to school here also, who I have a great strong relationship with.
That's
and we
dope.
started a brand called 2 Vision, and that's just to inspire many people who have a vision. All those who have a vision, everybody should have a vision, and it's just to motivate visionaries to fulfill the vision that God has given them. And also here, I was blessed to meet my fiance, my future wife.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So I realized, in the midst of me not necessarily knowing all that was taking place, that God was still in control, and that he had a great plan for my life. And I grew up with I grew up with 2 sisters, 2 half sisters, and then recently I have now 2 more twin sisters and a stepsister. So I'm an older brother to all 5.
Wow.
That really motivates me to be the man that I am today, and to really make sure that I'm leading them in the right way. And also I have many cousins, many family members, young family members that look up to me. So I kind of feel like I was born into this leadership position as a brother, a cousin, and to, just lead in general.
Well, that's amazing, because, based on, your parents being so young when they had you, typically that's not a recipe for someone who goes on to college and especially wants to motivate others.
Right.
And so, like you said, you attribute a lot of it, of course, to your parents, but then to your grandparents who stepped up and helped out. Right. That's amazing. That's amazing. So what was the premise behind the book, Desperate for Change?
So it's so funny because my uncle, he became really a great motivation behind me writing this book, because prior to me becoming an author, I followed him and became an author because he ended up becoming my spiritual mentor.
Okay.
And that's a chapter that I talk about in my book too, about finding a spiritual mentor. But he basically propelled and accelerated my purpose as a man, and especially in college. I started to ask more questions, and I started to listen more, and I started to realize the people that, God was placing in my life to be able to help me to fulfill my purpose here on this earth. So my uncle, I just would ask him questions, and the more I would realize he was just giving freely and giving so selflessly. He didn't not give, answers to the questions that I had. Of course, he's my uncle. He's going to help me, but
right.
Most people still don't have to do that.
Yeah.
He's the author of best-selling book Jesus and Coffee, Dr. Tony Ward. So I have him to really thank for, getting me into the lane of authorship. But the premise behind my book is for college men.
Okay.
Because I realized as a college man, we don't really have that many resources available to really help equip us on our journey. And that could even go for college women also. So it's really, I realized the importance of, having a community while you're in college, of having, the right tools and the resources to be able to further you in. And many people, when they go to college, most of us, we don't know our purpose when we come to college. So that was a question that I had.
Yeah.
And honestly, I had an identity crisis that I went through while in college. I would be going back and forth. I would still be trying to, be in the Word and do godly things, but I still wasn't living right at the same time. Got into drugs, girls, all the things that, people can get into. And I realized that I was becoming distracted. So once I realized that, I got tired of the life. Something in me just got tired of being unfulfilled, of not feeling like I was doing what I was meant to do here on this earth. So in my book, I talk, a lot about my experiences that I went through. And the basis of it is to, empower young men, college men, to be able to continue to press forward despite the difficult challenges that they face, in order to unlock their purpose, potential, vision, and the leader within.
Most definitely. And I think that's important because I remember when I was going off to college, my mother told me most people you meet, well, half the people you meet your freshman year, first semester will not be back second semester. Because for a lot of people, it's their first time living on their own, you know what I mean? Not really having any, a curfew or whatever. I mean, they have rules at school, but you know what I mean? You're more on your own. And so a lot of people just go crazy. And I remember I saw it, when I was in school. So what was it? You said it was something within you that knew that you weren't living the way you grew up and what your heart was telling you. What was the changing point for you?
And that's a great question, and also one that I feel like isn't answered with just one event. I feel like it was a build-up of several events, that occurred in my life. And I, as I said, I was getting involved in drugs. I was getting involved with women, party scene, and just not really knowing what God has put inside of me and gifted me to be able to do.
Right.
That really created, I'd say, a void within me. And I would just be feeling like, why am I even here? College didn't really feel like, the experience that I was really supposed to be, experiencing.
Yeah.
But it was really a culmination of just several events happening, and ultimately, I just want to, it came a point where I just wanted to make sure that I was aligned with God's will for my life.
Yeah.
So I started getting in the Word. I started, going more to church and, staying surrounded by those who were also, you know, focused on discovering who they were. And getting on that path really propelled me into, you know, my destiny, into discovering the gifts within me, you know, being able to write, being able to, you know, do music and things of that such.
Mm-hmm. What's the feedback you've gotten from the book so far?
So I gotten a lot of feedback from women.
Okay.
Because I realized from this book that a lot of women feel like their sons or their nephews or their, you know, a loved one that they have that's a man that goes to college really needs this book.
Yeah.
And it was a blessing because my grandmother, she actually bought a copy, and she was telling her friends about, you know, that I wrote a book for college men. But she was like, before I send it out, I need to make sure that, you know, this is a good book. I don't want to just be sending them anything.
Right.
So she was reading it, starting to read it, and she would send me like daily updates about how it was blessing her, and how it was, you know, great points that I made in the book. And then, you know, she felt really inclined to send it out to her friends. So I've been getting a lot more feedback from elder women who, you know, have young men in college. You know,
exactly.
So
exactly. So where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
Oh, that's a great question. Honestly, I feel like eyes haven't seen, ears haven't heard.
Yeah.
I feel like I have an idea for, you know, I really look up to a guy named Dr. Miles Monroe. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. And also a guy that I recently discovered, his name is Myron Golden.
Okay.
And Dr. Miles Monroe, he passed away, unfortunately, in a plane crash, but he was a pastor of Bahamas International Church.
Okay.
But the way that he explained the kingdom of God was so profound that I never heard it taught in such a way that he's taught it. And he really helped me to understand the Bible in such a great way that I never experienced before. I feel like he's unraveled so many mysteries and secrets within the Bible that was placed in the proper context. Because I feel like often, you know, it's easy to really, you know, just pull scripture from the Bible.
Yeah.
But it's not every day you can find somebody who really interprets it correctly.
Exactly.
And I found a guy named Myron Golden recently, and he does basically the same thing, but he's more involved in business. He teaches on entrepreneurship and why, you know, he believes that God has called us to be entrepreneurs, and why, you know, that will be important for our success in America today and tomorrow.
Yep.
I hope to see myself, you know, doing more speaking engagements, and traveling the world to be able to share the gospel with, you know, those who need it.
Yeah.
From there, I hope to also be writing more books, you know, getting more involved with music, and also, you know, continuing and furthering my clothing line with my cousin.
Oh, nice. Well, I can tell you at 22, I'm extremely impressed by you. Are you proud of yourself?
I say that I am, but it's more from hearing my family and my loved ones say that they're proud of me.
Yeah.
Because it's not that I seek, you know, validation from man.
Right.
But I definitely want to make my parents and my family proud of what I'm doing here on this earth, and I want to, you know, just make sure that I'm doing all that I need to be doing. So I would say in that sense I am, but I'm also known to be a little hard on myself because my mom, she jokes around with me. Saying, you know, she tells me, love yourself, you know, give yourself some grace. So
you do.
I'm just really thankful for those people who, you know, keep me grounded.
Keep you grounded, Seems like you have a great network of people around you, you know, your family and those your leaders. So that's amazing. The book's called Desperate for Change. Where can we get it?
So it can be gotten on Amazon. All you got to do is type in Desperate for Change and my name, Maurice Smith, and you'll be able to find it there. I have a Kindle version, which is a little bit cheaper for those who may not be able to afford it, and I also have a paperback if you prefer paperback also. So it can be found on Amazon.
Oh, that's dope. Well, tell everyone where they can keep up with you and what you have going on, and just so we can stay in touch.
Definitely. So yeah, you feel free to follow me on social media at The Vision One on all social media networks except LinkedIn. THE Visioned VISIONED 1 ONE. And you can keep up with me and stay updated with what I got going on, and I just hope that I can be a blessing to y'all.
Most definitely. I'm sure. I know you are. I know you definitely are, and it will continue.
Oh, thank you so much.
Maurice Smith, man, I thank you so much for taking time out your schedule and for joining us tonight. And I wish you nothing but continued success. Keep doing your thing. I'm very honored to have been able to interview tonight.
Likewise. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I really appreciate it, and I hope we can connect more on a deeper level.
Most definitely. I look forward to it. Well, listen, our
things that you're doing.
Yeah, you too for sure. I'm gonna check out the book. I'm not at college. I'm not at college anymore, but I still think there are lessons that you can learn. But yeah, again, our thanks goes to Maurice Smith. The book is called Desperate for Change. Go get it on Amazon right now, and we're right back after this.
If I had one bullet left, would it be for you or be for me? I don't know who's more to blame for leaving me in all this misery. I guess I took you for granted till you finally up and had it. I guess I took you for granted till you finally up and had it. If I had 1 minute left, I'd kiss you 50 seconds of the time. The last 10 I'd say I'm sorry, and kiss you once more right before I close my eyes. Took you for granted till you finally up and had it. Oh, I guess I took you for granted till you finally up and had it. I shouldn't have took you for granted till you finally up and had it. Shouldn't have took you for granted. Oh, you had it. Oh.
If I had one bullet left, I shoot the clock and yeah, I flip the time. All the years that I wasted, honestly, there's no way to apologize. You shouldn't took me for granted. Yeah, hell yeah, up and had it. Yeah, you shouldn't have took me for granted. Yeah, hell yeah, up and had it.
Said some crazy things, did some crazy things, changed everything. Didn't wanna leave, but it's what you need. So sorry for granted. I'm sorry. I know, I took you for granted.
For granted, oh, now I'm up and had it. Yeah.
Sorry, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
My heart broke.
I know.
Now I had it.
Let's take another Quaalude. Quaalude got me feeling in a great mood. Great mood, all the models on that Grey Goose. Grey Goose, I can't feel my face, that's phase two. Phase two, let's take another Quaalude. Quaalude got me feeling in a great mood. Great mood, models all on that Grey Goose. Grey Goose, I can't feel my face, that's phase two.
Okay, life of the party getting loose with a 10. She is sucking for the wine and his juice in the jam. Where's PNT? Cause you're usually with him. And I flex on these like I moved in the gym. She came through, her crew tagged along. It's going down like it's after prom. You heard me, that equals 3. Either that or my math is wrong. She ride me till the taxi comes, until the point that I go numb. And that is so dumb, you would've thought that I was blind. Then I'm leaving, money is the reason. No sleeping, keep women feeding in a hotel. Year round, that's 4 seasons. 4 seasons? You ain't ballin', you a rookie, got a playin' hooky, now you off. Got the lush your buzz and Woody when you found out what her pics are. But I do know one thing now, they come and go. Hey girl, you know your road get new, take loose,
let's take another Quaalude. Quaalude got me feeling in a great mood. Great mood, all the models on that Grey Goose. Grey Goose, I can't feel my face, that's phase two. Phase two, let's take another Quaalude. Quaalude got me feeling in a great mood. Great mood, models all on that Grey Goose. Grey Goose, I can't feel my face, that's phase two. Phase two.
Girl, I'm faded. Girl, I'm faded. Just took another loot. It's so amazing. So amazing. Sorry if I'm rude. I'm famous. Nah. This conversation, I don't know what I'm saying. Nah. Took another loot. Now I'm on stage. Every night is a model or an actress. She coming home cause you know what status. She call me king, had a fling in the palace. Didn't give her the biz on my mattress. And she know these other just practice. I'm the greatest, beat it up like Cassius. From a Willie made a movie called The Blackfish. Every time we do it, it's a classic. Kid up, turn the bed to a casket. You funny if you think the song average. Wait a minute, did me think the song average?
Wait a minute, did me think the song average?
Then she said, wait, I ain't trying to hate, but the song sound like Replacement Girl. I said it's cool, guess who likes it more? Ooh. Your replacement girl. Your replacement girl. Your replacement girl. Your replacement girl.
Let's take another Quaalude. Quaalude got me feeling in a great mood. Great mood, all the models on that Grey Goose. Grey Goose, I can't feel my face, that's phase two. Phase two, let's take another Quaalude. Quaalude got me feeling in a great mood. Models all on that Grey Goose. Grey Goose, I can't feel my face, that's phase two. Phase two.
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Chike Evans, you're holding down movie review solo tonight.
No, I'm not. You right here with me, brother.
You're right. I'm here.
Well, before I get started, I just want to shout out a big happy born day to Miss Kathy Hughes.
Oh,
who
yes.
is the urban media maven. She is TV One.
Yep.
Founder of TV One, Radio One. A big inspiration.
Yeah.
She is a great positive force in media, the first African-American woman to actually have traded in a public company. So shout out to Miss Hughes. I've had an opportunity to be in her company a few times. She's such a wonderful woman, and I always wind up learning things from her when I do talk to her. So be blessed and have a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, for sure.
So, I saw 2 films. One was a theatrical release, The Curse of La Llorona. I'm saying that right, because double L is you get the Y sound in the Spanish alphabet. The Curse of La Llorona is basically part of the Insidious, Conjuring, and Annabelle family. And the story is about a young woman who marries a very handsome and wealthy man in a Hispanic country, and they're married for quite some time, and she has some children, and he winds up betraying her by having an affair with a younger woman. And in order to pay him back or to get revenge, she takes away what he holds dear, and it's his 2 children that she bore for him. And after she drowns the children, she realizes what she has done after her fit of rage, and she winds up taking her own life.
Oh, wow.
So in the future, she winds up haunting children in search of her own, but she winds up haunting them and taking their lives. And once she imprints on the children, and she attaches herself to your family, she's there until she actually takes their life. So this follows the story of one particular family that the spirit of La Llorona, excuse me, I keep saying it wrong. She follows her as she tries to take their life. This movie, actually, I thought it to be an original. You know how I am about stories in Hollywood. I found it to be original, and it actually made me jump a few times. I thought it was very interesting. For the big screen, maybe not so much, but definitely a good story. We don't get too many good horror movies. It seems like the good ones that we do get are coming from the same nucleus of producers and writers, and that's the Insidious, Conjuring, Annabelle family. They keep kicking out, except for that nun one. That nun one that came out was no good. That wasn't good. But for the most part, their movies are really, really good. So I do recommend, if you're in the mood for a horror, catch it on the matinee. Yeah, check it out.
Okay.
So the next film you and I both saw is Netflix's Homecoming from Miss Beyonce Carter herself.
Yes.
And I put it up there with some of the great musical documentary films like Madonna's Truth or Dare, Michael Jackson's This Is It, when Janet Jackson released Rhythm Nation. You know, there are a few few documentaries, musical documentaries out there that are of legend. And this holds up.
I have to agree.
Beyonce did her thing.
I have to agree.
And not that I'm walking away from this movie thinking about her differently, but I'm walking away from this movie thinking about her differently. In the sense of, I always knew she was dynamic, but in any project that any artist puts out, in a musical project, at least someone like me, I'm trying to figure out what is the message. Like, why did you do this composure of music? What does it mean? When it's an album mainly, what does it mean? And basically, this is the film from Coachella, her 2 nights that she performed at Coachella when she headlined Coachella. And she said that she is the first African-American woman to have headlined Coachella, period. And she took that very seriously, and she wanted to make a statement by doing it. She just didn't want to go ahead and perform. She wanted to make a statement. And she goes on to say that when she was younger, she always wanted to go to a historical black college, and she always wanted to have the college experience, which she never had because she was very successful at a young age. And she says in the film, Destiny's Child and life was her college.
Yeah.
That was basically her education. So basically what she did was she traveled around to historical black colleges searching for talent. And she devised her own marching band, her own backup singers, her own dancers. Everyone that worked on the set of the Coachella performance was from a historical black college. She mined her own talent. She created that. And that was her fraternity, that was her sorority, and that's why she's calling it homecoming, because homecoming, if anyone knows anything about historical black colleges, homecoming is everything.
Yes.
I had the pleasure of going to a historical black college, Virginia Union, in Richmond, Virginia. Union?
Yeah, yeah. My parents went there.
Yeah. And homecoming is a big deal.
It's huge.
It's a really big deal.
It's huge.
And she called her performance in this movie Homecoming because it was a big deal to her.
Right.
And just to see her behind the scenes, and they show her coming back from having the twins, and the pregnancy of the twins was so difficult, and she didn't know if she could do it or not. And it took her some time.
8 months.
To get back to, yeah.
She rehearsed for 8 months.
Yeah. The rehearsals and working, and
the diet.
She was even sounding defeated a couple times because she didn't know if she could do it. And it's a lot of work. And to the point where, how about the part where she said she had 3 sound stages, one for the dancers, one for the musicians, and then one for the aesthetics. Yeah, definitely. I have a newfound respect for Beyonce.
I do too.
As it relates to her being an artist.
I do too. And the thing is this, like, I've never been a huge Beyonce fan. I've always respected her. I think she's the it girl of our generation. You know, not taking none of that from her. But watching this documentary, the fact that she wanted deliberately to have a message, you know, and you know, you and I both went to HBCU, so we know how huge Homecoming was. And even when, you know, when they first announced the documentary and it was called Homecoming, I didn't think much of it. But when I watched it, it was just seeing all that black excellence and the talent. You know, Beyonce's talent in her own, but the dancers and the singers and
wait a minute, Stephen. Wait. When it opens up and you hear Nina Simone talking, right then and there, I knew she was on something different. I was like, oh, wait a minute, this is something else.
Yep. I was blown away by it, and you know, again, I'm not a big Beyonce fan. I respect her. She's talented. Don't attack me. She's talented. She's one of the best of our generation. But walking away from that documentary, I was like, wow, this woman's incredible. Because, you know, she went on the diet she mentioned because, you know, she was coming off having the difficult pregnancy with her twins, and she did no carbs, she did no alcohol, she did no meats for 60 days. 60 days. I couldn't do that.
It's a long time. And she kept saying, I'm hungry. I'm
hungry. I felt bad when she was eating that apple. I was like, but no, she is phenomenal, and again, that definitely gave me a new level of respect for her. I mean, I was watching, I was like, wow. I was just so proud. I was proud watching it, especially coming from HBCU. So,
yes, absolutely. And at the end, there's this a small paragraph that basically states, and it's at the very end, she hopes that this contributes to preserving the legacy of historical black colleges in this country. Because in the spirit in which they were created in the first place, we have to honor that.
And the reason why they were created is because we couldn't get into regular colleges. But
right.
I was talking. Me and my best friend watched it together, and I said, there's only one thing I like about this documentary. I don't see nothing about Virginia State, and then you see a quote from someone who went to Virginia State. I said, "That's all right, Beyonce, you did that." But no, I definitely think it was a great documentary. I really do.
So I highly recommend it. In all actuality, I don't gravitate toward a lot of Beyonce music. It's, you know, songs here and there, but I'm going to tell you, when you watch this movie, you're going to be dancing when you're seat because she goes down the timeline of her music. Somewhere along the line of Beyonce's career, you have danced to at least 1 or 2 or 3 or 10 of her songs. Or as she said, 50 or 11.
50 or 11, right.
50 or 11 of her songs.
And and I love it was a family. I love it was a family affair. Jay came out, Kelly and Michelle, Solange came out. You know, it was just it was a family affair. But you can tell she puts in a lot of. I mean, her work ethic. It's like she deserves her status because of how hard she works.
And recently, Janet Jackson was inducted into the Hall of Fame. And that kind of ran across my mind. At some points in this, that definitely is in Beyonce's future. Definitely.
Yeah.
She will be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
But I'm going to say this. This is the last thing I'm going to say about that movie. Watching Little Blue Ivy, she's going to be the one to watch out for.
Yeah.
Because she is witnessing all of that.
She studies her mom. Yeah.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah. Well, kudos to Beyonce and her team. But she said it was a large team that helped put the whole event together. So, and I was saying how smart she was with this because she got paid $8 million to do the performance, which she probably didn't need. But you can tell she put a lot of money into it, and so not only did she do that, but then I'm sure Netflix got she paid them. I mean, they paid her to air it, and then the fact that she's selling the music as a CD. I said that's what you call business savvy.
He's a mogul.
Yeah.
He's a mogul.
Yeah. What do you watch on TV?
Game of Thrones, American Gods, Veep. What else am I watching? The Shy. So many things on TV right now. So I just found out that one of my favorite shows isn't coming back this year. Insecure.
Yeah.
And Westworld. Both of them aren't coming back this year. They're taking a hiatus.
Yeah.
And they will be back in 2020. Issa Rae actually is busy. She's filming films.
Yep.
And she is too busy to actually devote time to
her show.
Right, to her show. Which I'm okay with.
I'm not.
In the sense of if you cannot give me 100%.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't want it.
That's true.
I don't want you half-assing.
That's
because
true.
Insecure is a damn good show.
Oh my God.
However, when it does come back,
it better be
you
right.
need to extend them episodes.
Yeah.
It needs to be like a double season.
I agree.
Issa, you hear me, Issa? It needs to be like 23 episodes.
And we'll watch it. We'll watch it too.
Yes, we will. We'll watch all 23.
Yep.
Or give me an Insecure movie before the series starts. Something.
Oh, man. Yeah.
How about that?
But that's a good problem to have. Too busy to do your own show. That means you're booked.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm loving 9/11, Angela Bassett. That show is so good. I think it's.
I have to start watching that. See, I keep forgetting about it.
Oh my gosh!
Say it.
Yes, I just saw a commercial today. I said, "Oh yeah, it comes on tonight." It's a good show. I love that show.
And how many seasons is it now?
This is second season.
Okay.
It's really good.
Okay.
It's really good.
So I can catch up.
Yeah.
So, did you watch Game of Thrones at all?
I don't watch it. I tried. I remember maybe 3 years ago, I was invited to a watch party, and I went to the watch party, and I fell asleep before the show even came on. So, yeah. But everybody says it's great. I hadn't gotten into it.
Okay, so all of you out there that watch Game of Thrones, we all know next week is going down. I mean, down. The war starts next week. This was the cliffhanger. We had it's been 3 episodes of the build-up. We've got familiar with all of our characters all over again, and we're all warmed up. But the horn sounded last night, and that's how it ended. So it's about to go down next episode.
All right.
Do you watch The Shy at all? Shout out to Lena Waithe.
I don't, but I know it's great. I've heard really great things about The Shy, and we had one of the characters on our show.
Yes, we did. The teacher.
Yep.
Mr. Garcia, that's his name.
Yeah.
He plays one of the teachers on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely check that out. It's one of those ones that gets in your spirit. It gets in your soul. Kind of like The Wire did. It gets in your spirit. Check that out. Very, very excellent writing on that.
Awesome.
And Veep, which is in its last season, that's the political comedy with Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who is of Seinfeld fame. I think that show is so smart and it's so brilliant. And it kind of gives you a little glimpse into what's probably going on in that administration that's in that house right now.
Mm-hmm.
Check it out.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, and American Gods, we're still working on Mr. Orlando Jones, trying to get him on the show. It's just schedule-wise, we're working it out. But American Gods is another awesome show. If you can think, if you like fantasy and you love creative, colorful characters and excellent writing, definitely check that out. And that's in its second season as well. Check it out.
Awesome. Anything coming down the pipeline?
You know what's coming down the pipeline. This Friday, it's all about the Avengers Endgame.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the only thing that I can think about right now.
Yeah. Everyone's talking about that.
And just like I said earlier, I went to a museum here, and they did a Marvel exhibit. So it was basically all about Marvel. And this is like a preemptive to the Endgame. I just thought it was so brilliant that they did that here in my area, and then now I get to see this movie this week.
Oh,
so
that's
it's
dope.
2 weeks of Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that they could not have this Marvel exhibit until after Stan Lee had passed, because they had some things there in the exhibit that were basically his, like the first desk that he was drafting on.
Oh, okay.
Some family photos and some like early sketches of the first Iron Man. Like, it was really, 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 really good. So if it comes to your town, definitely check it out. If you're a Marvel fan, you will not be disappointed. And they had some, the real costumes, like the real Panther costume, the real Spider-Man costume. And a lot of people were like, oh, it's not real. And then I went up to the case, and I started really examining the outfits. And I'm like, you can tell someone had this on, because you really look at it, it looks worn.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, this is not just something made for this exhibit. You can tell that it's been on a body, and they've used it. Definitely check it out.
Yeah, most definitely. All right. Anything else?
Oh, that's it for me.
All right, Chike. Well, as always, thank you for letting us know what to spend our money on, what not to. Hope you have a great week, and talk again next Monday. All right.
All right.
Right back after this.
She likes to read books on philosophy. She only eats at small cafes. She questions every single part of me. She makes me better every day. It's not the way she styles her hair, or the designer clothes she wears. Her silhouette's one of a kind, but most of all, she's got a beautiful mind. She's got a beautiful mind. She's got a beautiful mind. So many girls I see are wild and lovable, but I'm looking for my queen, my Claire Huxtable. The black American dream, it sounds so wonderful. The only thing I need's my Claire Huxtable. My Claire, my Claire Huxtable. My Claire, my Claire Huxtable. We'll be in a brownstone and BK, listen to Stevie and Coltrane. I know that she out there for me. Oh yeah, have us a few kids one day, a couple of Lisa, a Bonays. I know that she out there for me. Oh yeah, so many girls I see are wild and lovable, but I'm looking for my queen, my Claire Huxtable. The black American dream sounds so wonderful. Only thing I need, my Claire Huxtable. My Claire, 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 my Claire Huxtable. Be in a brownstone and BK, listen to Stevie and Coltrane. I know that she out there for me. Claire Huxtable. Have us a few kids one day, a couple of Lisa, a Bonays. I know that she out there for me. Claire Huxtable. So many girls I see are wild and lovable, but I'm looking for my queen, my Claire Huxtable. The black American dream sounds so wonderful. Only thing I need, my Claire Huxtable.
what's up, y'all? It's your main man, Chingaling, representing. And right now I'm hanging out with my folks, and you're listening to the Stephen Knight Show right here, right there, however you want to do it. Let's go.
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Aaron Cosby, how's it going?
Stephen Knight, what's up, brother? Happy post-Easter.
Right, post-Easter. Yeah. Did you do anything for Easter?
It was very somber. I just had a very chill, relaxing, calm, spirited Easter.
That's good. Yeah.
What about you?
My Easter was chill. I actually did watch TD Jakes yesterday morning, and then just chilled out. Didn't do too much. Can't complain.
Okay. What about food?
Food, I had pizza. I had been craving pizza, and I had pizza. I had some friends over, so we ordered some pizza.
That's it. So you have collard greens,
nope,
and macaroni and cheese,
nope,
and black-eyed peas,
nope,
and cornbread.
I had Meat Lovers
ham or chicken.
I had Meat Lovers pizza from Papa John's. My first choice was closed.
What was your first choice?
It's this place called Milano's Pizza. It's
that sounds good.
Yeah, it's really good. But yeah.
So you and be honest. Not that you're not honest, but I'm just be up front. Did you eat the entire pizza?
No, I had 3 slices actually, and I actually gave them because I ordered 2 pizzas and I gave the second one away because I went to Temptation in my house. But I had a craving for some pizza, so I got it and then I gave it away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I've had those moments where I've ate an entire pizza.
Oh, I have too. Absolutely. Yeah.
And I'm still slim, so hey.
Right.
Thank you, jeans. I got good. Thank you, Lord.
Exactly. Right.
Hey man, but I would not recommend that. I would not recommend people doing that. That's like once every now and then, and still even that eating an entire pizza in one sitting is yeah, it's a bit much, but I've done it.
Yeah, I've definitely done it.
Yeah. All right, well, you want to talk about some sports real quick?
Let's talk about some sports.
Okay. The NBA playoffs, as we know, is going on. Some teams are winning, some teams aren't.
You know, I read this is the first time since 2005 a LeBron James-led team is not the front runner in the playoffs. Isn't that crazy?
It feels weird, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like Bron is not in the playoffs.
Mm-mm.
That's so.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah.
What do we do? Like, what's going on? Like it's and I think that's partly why, to me, it feels. It's not hyped this year. Like
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of dry.
Yeah.
Watered down. Like it doesn't feel. It feels off.
Right.
So what I'm gonna need Bron to do is go on to the front office of the Lakers. I need him to just go ahead this summer, get it together, talk to the folks, let them know, okay, this is who I need to be on the squad. Bring them in. Quit BSing, because this is silly that the Lakers are not in the play. I mean, what? Yeah.
Right.
Yes, exactly. Right. So, if they need to get rid of some players that's currently on the roster, which I actually see that happening, definitely.
Yeah.
Do it. Clean house.
All right.
And that means, oh boy, which some people like, some people don't. I don't dislike him. I mean, personally, he's probably a cool dude, but he was just, to me, just very inconsistent. And I'm talking about, of course, Ball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You say No, not really. But you say he's inconsistent. How so?
Just okay. One game, he'll give you a double, almost
He'll show up.
Double.
Mm-hmm.
He's balling well. You know, he's doing well. The next maybe 2 or 3 games, bricks.
Right. It's not consistent. Exactly.
3 point. Yeah. I'm just not, for all of the hype. To me, it's just not. It's not working.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not working. And I actually, from a marketing and a money aspect of it, it was brilliant on his dad's part
mm-hmm.
to actually to really hype his son. And of course, as a parent, you're going to hype your child. I mean,
of course, yeah.
I shouldn't say hype your child. You are going to be your child's biggest cheerleader.
Yep.
As you should, as a parent. Absolutely. I'm not. That's of course. It's just that when it becomes a detriment to your child,
mm-hmm.
and they have to live up to those expectations and that hype, and they might not be able to perform at that level.
Overhype, yeah.
Then it's on your own child, because he's the one that people are looking at now, because Daddy Ball's not out there, trying to make a jump shot.
Right.
He's in the bleachers talking crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, anyway. Okay. I would give him one more season.
Is it?
Possibly. Give him one more season. But brother, if like a month into the season, if you have not,
been consistent, yeah.
If you are not balling, and that's another thing, your last name Ball.
Right.
Balling. You should be balling. If you are not balling, then Ball, you got to give up the ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, you got to go. We gonna bench you. Well, nah, we ain't gonna bench you. We'll just try to trade you, and hopefully we can get something of value for you. Cause
they're saying that he says that he thinks that the team chemistry is better, will improve.
It's better now
since Davis is gone.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, you know what? We'll see.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. Let's give him next season.
Yeah, and see.
Things was kind of weird this past season. It was a lot
going on.
A lot of craziness. Yeah, it was a lot going on.
Yeah.
So maybe this time he can kind of but also, if he can, I would like for him to be able to separate his father from his manager, agent. It's like, I really need his dad to just be
my dad. Yeah.
And stay out of stay out of his affairs and all that. Just dad, bruh, I love you, dude. You are my pops, all that. But just be my dad. Just hype me, support me, but just take it down.
Right.
Just chill, just chill.
Yeah.
And if Pops can do that and he has a good season next season, then hey, it's all good. If not, then like I said, you got to go.
Right. Yeah.
Have you heard about the NBA situation?
What NBA situation?
You're like, oh shoot, like damn, what happened? It's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. You sounded scared, like, oh.
I'm like, what?
Is it over? Did the league go bankrupt or something?
Right.
I'm like, nah. Oh, right. Nah. So what happens is that they signed a multi-year partnership deal with CBS Sports. Yeah. And so with that, 40 games will be broadcasted on CBS Sports this season.
That's a good look.
So yeah, which is a good look. It's a very good look. Very good look. So WNBA, I'm excited. More people will be able to actually watch these games. These are good games. I would say for the most part. Okay. Let me kind of chill a little bit. Okay. Let me kind of chill. Okay. All right. I gotta keep it real. A lot of the games are good. There are some bad games. We gotta just keep it. There are some really bad games, but there are some really really good games also, and they need this as a league. They definitely needed this. So, hey, props WNBA. It's on y'all now to go out there and ball and put out a great product. Y'all need to put out a great product. Real, like y'all need to step it up now. Come on, step it up. Step it up. Ball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm real.
Right.
Step it. Show out.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I got as far as basketball. Let's see, what else can I talk about?
You gotta talk about Russell Wilson.
I was gonna say, should I talk about the rich man?
Yeah.
I mean, money, ching ching.
Uh-huh.
Scrooge McDuck just swimming in it. Just swimming in it. I mean, okay. Before I talk about him, let's talk about his wife, Sierra. Girl, you secured the mother bag. You got the bag. Oh my gosh.
$140 million contract. Woof.
You need to write a book on how you secure a bag for these ladies out here. And, like, you secured, man, like, man. Hey. But, okay, straight up, for Russell, man, thank you for just being a good, cool dude. Like, Russell Wilson is just one of those really genuinely cool dudes that some folks want to say is corny. He's not corny. He's not a corny dude.
Right.
He's just himself. He's just a cool dude, and he's not trying to be something that he's not. He's not trying to be gangster. He's not trying to be a
right. He's being himself. Right.
He's being himself, and he is winning.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
Oh yeah, I'm all for it. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Bruh, Russell, do it, brother. Do it now. You got the ball though. I'm just saying, cause now.
Yeah, show and prove. Right.
Now you money bag.
Uh-huh.
If anything goes wrong with the Seahawks next season, it's all going to be Russell's fault.
Yeah.
It's your fault.
Yeah.
It's your fault, bro. Your fault. Yeah. So, but definitely well deserved.
Yeah. Congratulations.
I didn't see it coming though. I was surprised. Now, what did you think about them doing that whole
video
camera with them in the bed? I personally didn't like that myself. I should say I didn't like it. It came off a little odd to me.
Yeah.
It came off.
But that's them though. That's them though. You know what I mean?
It's a little. Yeah. You know what? To me, it came off forced.
Uh-huh.
It came off like it was just like, let's just do this because it'll look cool. That's the corniness. Okay, that got it. Bam. Okay, that was corny. That to me was corny.
Right. Yeah.
Would you agree? Like, that's corny.
I mean, but that's them. And we live in this day and age now where everything's public. I mean, and it was going to be out there the next day anyway. Not necessarily the video, but the news.
Yeah.
And they weren't bragging about the money. They were just announcing that they were staying. The Seahawks. But
I'm like, are y'all about to do like a little hub video, like something for like for the gram or something extra? Like what's like for real? Like,
she said they went to bed after they posted it.
I bet they did.
Uh-huh.
I bet they did. I bet they had a good night's sleep, bro.
But yeah.
Yes, baby Russell. The next baby's going to be. Hear me out now. Y'all heard it here first. Sierra will be popping out baby Russell number 3. I guess no. Cause baby. Anyway, that's Russell's baby too.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, they all together. She'll be pushing out baby Wilson number 3 in the next 9 to 12 months. You heard it here first. I'll say 9 months. That baby was conceived that night. Baby was conceived that night. You hear me? I'm just saying. That's all I got, man. Sports, like, that's all I got. I am getting ready for the Washington Capitals and the Carolina Hurricanes Game 6 Stanley Cup playoffs.
Okay.
It is 3-2 Washington lead. They're back in Raleigh for Game 6. It's coming on tonight, and I gotta watch this game, man. I told you, I'm into hockey now.
That's good.
I'm into it.
Yeah, you used to not be into it, yeah.
Oh yeah. So I'm kind of feeling this. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully there will be a Game 7.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Most definitely.
That's all I got, bro. Yeah.
All right. Well, everyone, as always, thank you for keeping us in the know, and hope you have a great rest of your week. And talk to you soon.
All right. Sounds good, brother.
All right. Right back after this.
Hey, mama, I guess I messed up and fell for a picture so perfect I thought it was real. But I couldn't tell, no. Hey, mama, I guess I thought that my moving image would one day learn how to be still. But that wasn't realistic. Should've been good by now. I should've been. We should've been settling down. We should've been. Yep, I thought if I gave my all, that he was gonna love me back. Love me back. Love me back. Love me back. And I thought it was okay to fall, 'cause he was gonna love me back. Love me back. Not love me back. Love me back. Me back. Hey, mama, where are my senses? I'm lost, I'm convinced I could love that man out of his ways. But I'm not okay, no. Oh, mama, I'm colorblind, didn't see the signs. Red flags didn't make me run, no. I was just dumb, oh, I should've been good by now. I should've been. We should've been settling down. We should've been. Oh, I thought if I gave my all, that he was gonna love me back. Love me back. Love me back. Love me back. And I thought it was okay to fall, 'cause he was gonna love me back. Love me back. Not love me back. Love me back. Me back, boy. Lord knows you can teach a monkey to fly, and hello don't mean goodbye, and truth don't turn into lies. When it's real, then you know it, babe. Meaning well like the same thing, 'cause doing well, baby, I can't keep taking shots in the dark. No, I thought if I gave my all, that he was gonna love me back. Love me back. Love me back. Love me back. And I thought it was okay to fall, 'cause he was gonna love me back. Love me back. Not love me back. Love me back. Me back, boy. You don't love me. You don't love me, no. You don't love me. No. Still in love, no. You don't love me. You were supposed to love me back. Still in love, no. Love me.
This is Miss Parker, and you're listening to the Stevie Knight Show.
Well, that's our show. I want to thank Maurice Smith for joining us again. His book is called Desperate for Change. Definitely pick it up. This is something that will motivate and inspire, especially young men and women who are going into school. You definitely want to have a firsthand account of what to avoid and, how to stay on the right track. But we hope you all have a great week, and we'll talk again next Monday. Peace and good night.
Tonight is all eyes on me. Everything's gonna be alright. And when we get there, I'ma see a pretty, pretty, pretty young thing. I'ma ask her to take my hand. Head to the floor, we gon' dance. And when we get there, best believe we're gonna do a two-step. Ain't no throwing here, so don't stress. Step to the right, then side to the left.